Hello everyone, this is Vinny from High Tech Legion, and this is the Cooler Master Elite 431 Plus Mid Tower. It's one of Cooler Master's Performance Chassis Series designs, and it comes with USB 3.0 on board. It also has an X-dock or X-docking station, and also comes with a side window panel. Up at the top, at the I/O port, the front I/O port, off on the left we have a reset switch. And then off to the right of that we have our USB 3.0. And to the right of the USB 3.0 we have USB 2.0. And then at the center we have our mic and headphone connections. And off to the right of that we have another USB 2.0 port. And on the extreme right in this corner is your power switch, and just to the left of the power switch is your data light for your hard drive. And below the I/O port panel we have two 5.25 ODD bays or optical drive bays, and just below that we have the docking station, which is external, SATA docking station for your hard drives. And right below that we have two 3.5 drive bays as well, and they can be utilized for hard drive or card reader, things of that nature. And right below that is an area for a pre-installed 120 millimeter blue LED fan. And excuse me. And on the front, embedded in the bezel down there, is the Cooler Master logo done in silver. Really nice looking chassis. I'm excited to get the unboxing started and get a closer look, because well, two reasons. One, this is the one of the budget series of Cooler Master cases, and it isn't every day that on a budget series case that I see things as onboard 3.0 and docking station and pre-installed 120 millimeter LED. So with that being said, let's move around to this side so you can get a look at what the side window looks like. It's nicely shaped, not overdone. Comes about 2/3 of the way in on the left side door. Nice looking window, clear window. Moving around to the back, some of the things that I pointed out on the front, they talk about back here. USB 3.0 for faster data transfer. Tool-free on your 5.25 devices. They also see we have tool-free on the hard drive cage as well. And as well, we have tool-free on the external 3.5 up front. It comes with 7 expansion slots and 120 millimeter fan at the top, and also off to the left of that, your spot for your dust cover for your I/O panel on the motherboard. And this particular case is set up for a standard bottom mounted power supply. Some of the features: and specifications. Available color is black only. The dimensions are 192 wide by 427 high by 499 deep, just millimeters, which equates to 7.6 inches wide by 16.8 inches high by 19.6 inches in depth. The net weight is only 11 pounds or 5.0 kilograms. The motherboard type that this chassis will take will be micro ATX and ATX. It's compiled of steel and plastic. The chassis is made of steel, right? And we have the three exposed 5.25 bays. One of them being the X-Dock SATA bay, and then we have the two exposed 3.5 bays that I pointed out underneath the docking station. And then they talk again about the hard drive, the 3.5 SATA hard drive bay, one exposed and converted from the 5.25 bay to the docking station. We also have the tool-free design that I pointed out on the ODD and hard drive cages. We have one front 120 millimeter blue LED fan that's already installed, and you have the option of switching that out to 140 millimeter if you're looking for more airflow. At the top of the chassis there are two spots optional to install fans, 220 millimeter exhaust fans at the top of the chassis, and at the rear you have the option of putting in an 80, a 90 or 120 millimeter fan, one at the back. And also at the bottom on the inside of the chassis you also have an option of adding another fan down there, which also can be your 80 millimeter, 90 millimeter or 120 millimeter fan. And power supply would be your standard ATX PS2, right, 12 volt, that's optional. And maximum compatibility, CPU cooler height is 6.4 inches in height, and your VGA or video cards, the length, you can put one in up to 12.4 inches or 315 millimeters in width. So you can install some of the larger video cards in here, and that's with the hard drive cage. So this chassis, though it has a small footprint, has a lot to offer. So with that being said, let's move on and have a closer look at the Cooler Master Elite 431 Plus and see exactly what it has to offer. Okay, now we can get a better look at this Cooler Master 431 Elite Plus, and it has a really nice matte black finish on the front bezel. I'm really impressed with the look on this chassis. The excuse me, the front mesh dust covers on the 5.25 bays as well as the 3.5 bays are done in a nice gloss black, and they accent really nice against the matte black finish on the front bezel. And one thing I do always look at too is how the front bezel and the actual painted case look in comparison to one another, and they've done a really good job of matching the black across the bezel and case itself. They blend real well together, so it makes it look even that much nicer. At the top, as I spoke of, we have our reset switch, and alongside that is our 3.0, onboard 3.0, and your USB 2.0, and then your connections for your mic and headphone jacks, and another 2.0, your data light off to the right of that, and your on-off switch. The X docking station has a dust cover built in with the two little releases on both sides. You just squeeze it, comes out, exposes the docking station. Just slide your hard drive in, connect it up. It'll connect up automatically, and you're good to go there. I like the look and design on this bezel, and the silver Cooler Master logo, which is embedded in the actual grill. Below that is another fine mesh area that'll keep dust out, and behind that is our pre-installed 120mm blue LED. Now you can get a good look at this the side window here. It's really pretty. It's a clear window, so take some time with your install, do a good job, throw some lighting in the case, and you get yourself a really nice looking chassis with, and you'll be able to show off your work. So, moving around to the back, the doors have pre-installed thumb screws on them. Up at the top we have two grommeted pass-through ports for you water cooling enthusiasts, or if you so choose and need to, you can pass cable through there as well to hook up to your motherboard. I/O panel at the back. This area here will house the dust cover for your I/O panel on your motherboard, and right below that we have our 7 expansion slots, and at the bottom a spot for your bottom mounted power supply. See if you can see that. Up at the top you have the provision to add 220mm exhaust to exhaust the hot air that rises out of the top of the chassis. It's a really nice feature as well. And let's move to the bottom. On the bottom of the chassis we have some really nice case feet that will lift the chassis off the floor by 5/8 of an inch. And off to the left of that we have another spot for an intake fan that could be added, and this will take 120mm, 80mm or 90mm size fans, so that's another nice addition. And off to the left of that we have a dust filter that can be slid out, washed, and put back, and this is right below your power supply. So the bottom mounted power supply will be bringing air in off the bottom of the chassis, and this will protect it from bringing in any dust. The right side is plain finish, really nicely done. I like the paint job on this chassis. It was very well done. So hopefully I didn't miss anything. And let's move on to the inside and get a closer look. I've taken the liberty of removing the right side door before we move to the inside, so that this way you can get a better look with the additional light that will come in from the back side of the chassis. I'm going to remove the two thumb screws here. Come out quite easily. A little tug on the door. Comes right off. The window is really nicely done. Plexiglass is pretty thick. I like this little this button look that they've got around the window. It accents the window quite nicely, makes it look really nice. Moving to the inside. Start with our parts bag. Basically, what we have here are some zip ties. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 to be exact. We have a little case speaker for installation on the motherboard. So you get your beep codes when you boot up off the speaker. You have some screws for mounting your power supply at the bottom. And then literally there's an assortment of screws at the bottom of the bag of everything you'll need, from the screws to mount your hard drives and optical drives, to the screws and standoffs to mount your motherboard to the motherboard tray. There's also a little locking tab. Hopefully you can see that. That's to lock the left side door. Keep honest people honest. You want to make sure nobody gets their hands in there on your equipment. The motherboard standoffs are really nicely done. They're made of brass, and Cooler Master has included a little socket for these standoffs. And basically what you do is you put the standoff in the socket, and on the back side of the socket is a Phillips head spot where you can just drop your Phillips head screwdriver in there and screw these in quite easily and tighten them down. I like that they include that, because you know, if you don't have a wrench this small, and you're using a pair of pliers, you know, you'll not only is it a pain in the neck, but you'll booger them up and destroy them with pliers. In this little socket here will make sure they get in properly and they get locked down as tight as they need to be. Our hard drive cage has toolless retention, and the bottom 5 drives are for your hard drive installs, and these 2 at the top here are your 3.5 externals that were out at the front. And then of course above that we have our docking station. Our 5.25 bay is right here for the docking station, and above that are the 2 5.25 bays for your optical drives, and these also have toolless retention like the bottom. These simple pushing front to back, unlock and lock them. The dust covers on your 7 expansion slots are breakaway, what I call breakaway. And the reason I call them breakaway is once you have to twist them back and forth to remove them. Once you remove them, they're not replaceable. So be cognizant of that when you're installing your video card, that you pop out the 2 that you're actually going to need. Line up your video card with the slot where you're going to install on your motherboard, and pop out the ones that you're going to need, because if you pop out the wrong ones, you're just going to end up with empty spots here. But you can pick up dust covers, like I said, at any local computer store, and they're really very inexpensive. The bottom mounted power supply area has no rubber dampening at the bottom or at the back, so that could give you some vibration or some noise off the bottom of the chassis, but I really haven't experienced that in the past when there wasn't any, and maybe I've been lucky, but it does come with a little ledge here that your power supply will slide under, and some spring type devices that have been punched out of the bottom of the tray that will actually hold that power supply pretty sturdily in place. Let me see if I can turn that. Excuse my back while I move to the other side. Hopefully you can see this. Right here is the back of your docking station, right? The external docking station in the front, and right here you have your 4-pin Molex plug-in with your power supply, and your SATA connection right here for your data. So once that's plugged in, and that makes your docking station operational, and from there it'd be just plug and play. The cables, your power cables and USB cables are right here for your install. Let me move these out of the way. The USB 3.0 on your front I/O panel has a 20-pin connector, which is really nice, which means it'll plug right into your motherboard, and you won't be routing cables out the back and having them to plug in the back side of the I/O panel on your motherboard. You have your high definition audio, your USB 2.0. So these are really, like I said, very nicely sleeved. I believe I said, but they're very well done. And here are all your power connectors for the motherboard. They're all color coded, which is nice. It'll make things easy as well. And you have your power switch, your hard drive LED, your reset switch, and your power LEDs right here for your hard drive LED and power LED. Sorry about that. So that takes care of that. On the back side, as you can see, there's no cable management on this motherboard tray. There are no holes for cable pass through, and there's literally no room behind the tray whatsoever. Unless you want to call maybe an eighth of an inch. But it's not made to, this particular model is not made to run cables behind the motherboard tray. This whole area right here is open, so all your power cables are going to come up in this area right here, and I'll probably use those zip ties, and there's some spots right here where I can tie in some cables for support, and all of my cables are going to have to be run from the inside and not from behind the motherboard tray, so there won't be any concealing of cables in this chassis, you know, other than maybe this spot right here, which gives me maybe an inch and a quarter worth of room behind the hard drive cage where I can stuff some cables here as well. We have a nice size cut out for aftermarket cooler, so this will assist you in if you're down the road you want to add an aftermarket cooler, such as the Cooler Master Hyper 212. You can do so without having to remove the motherboard. Just hook up your backplate here and install it without any issues. You have a 4-pin Molex connection here for the front 120 millimeter intake. You also have your 3-pin connection to run it off the fan header on your motherboard. I hope I've covered this chassis in detail, and from here let's move on with the install. So I'll see you in a little bit.